Picture this. You're sitting at your kitchen table on a Tuesday night. You scratch a lottery ticket, and the numbers match. Not $100, not 1,000, millions. Your heart explodes. You're already mentally quitting your job, buying your parents a house, paying off every debt you've ever had. Life is solved. But here's what the data actually says happens next. Americans spent a record $104.7 billion on lottery tickets in 2024, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, a new all-time high. And yet research from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau confirms that lottery winners are more likely to declare bankruptcy within 3 to 5 years than people who never won at all. You win millions. You end up worse off than before. And the craziest part? This exact same story plays out every single year in the NFL. Players who earn more money in one season than most people see in a lifetime. Gone within years of retirement. This isn't bad luck. It's a pattern. And once you understand why it happens, you'll never think about money the same way again. Before we get into the lottery, let's talk about the NFL, because the numbers are jaw-dropping. The average NFL salary in 2025 is approximately $5.2 million per year. Even the minimum rookie salary in 2025 is $840,000. These are people earning in a single season what most Canadians won't see in 15 years of full-time work. And yet, according to a landmark study published by the National Bureau of Economic Research, 16% of NFL players file for bankruptcy within 12 years of retirement. That's 1 in 6, and that's just the ones who file formally. Sports Illustrated reported that 78% of former NFL players face serious financial hardship or bankruptcy within just 2 years of retiring. 2 years. The NBER study found something even more disturbing. Bankruptcy rates are not affected by how much a player earned or how long they played. A player who was in the league for 10 years and made $30 million is just as likely to go bankrupt as a player who was in for 3 years and made $3 million. More money does not equal more financial security, not without the knowledge to manage it. Here's the core problem. The average NFL career lasts just 3.3 years. Most players retire in their late 20s. They have 40 or 50 more years of life ahead of them, but their earning peak is already over. And almost none of them were trained for that. Lottery winners face the exact same structure. A massive amount of money arrives in a single moment. There's no financial education attached, and the clock starts ticking immediately. The very first blow lands before either the lottery winner or the NFL player spends a single dollar. Taxes. In the U.S., lottery winnings are taxed as ordinary income. The IRS withholds 24% immediately on prizes over $5,000. But for jackpots in the millions, your real effective federal tax rate hits 37%, the top bracket. And that's before state taxes. 90% of lottery winners choose the lump sum payout. That lump sum is already only 40 to 50% of the advertised jackpot before taxes even touch it. Win $50 million, take the lump sum, and you're starting at $25 million. After federal taxes, you might walk away with $15 to $17 million. Harvard Business Review analysis found that poor tax planning is responsible for bankrupting 52% of mega lottery winners. They see the number on the ticket, not the number after the government is done with it. NFL players face the same problem, amplified. Players who play in multiple states owe income taxes in every state they play a game in, called the jock tax. An NFL player can owe taxes in 10 or 12 different states in a single season. Factor in federal taxes, and some players lose 40% or more of their salary before they see it. 25% of lottery winners fail to even set aside money for the following year's tax bill, meaning the money they already spent gets reclaimed the next April. The check arrives. The tax knowledge doesn't. Here's where it gets fascinating and a little unsettling. Psychologists have a documented term for what happens when money arrives faster than the mind can adapt: sudden wealth syndrome. The American Psychological Association found that sudden wealth syndrome affects 68% of large windfall recipients, leading to anxiety, guilt, paranoia, social isolation, and, critically, an inability to make rational financial decisions. Think about what's actually happening. A lottery winner who grew up working class has spent their entire life making decisions calibrated to a working-class income. They know how to stretch a paycheck. They know how to weigh $200 decisions. Those habits and instincts are deeply wired. Then, overnight, millions of dollars sit in their account. The financial skills don't upgrade automatically. The mindset doesn't change. They're making million-dollar decisions with $100 financial programming. NFL players face an identical version of this. A 22-year-old rookie who grew up in a low-income household signs his first contract and receives more money than his entire family has ever seen. He's surrounded by teammates spending lavishly. He has agents, handlers, and financial advisors appearing from nowhere. The culture rewards visible wealth: cars, jewelry, designer clothes, entourages. A 2001 research paper found that lottery winners saved only 16 cents of every newfound dollar. The rest was gone. Fast. Not out of recklessness. Out of a complete absence of framework for managing wealth at that scale. Rich people who built wealth slowly didn't just accumulate money. They accumulated the knowledge, habits, and psychological relationship with money that allows them to keep it. The lottery and the NFL signing bonus hand you the destination. Neither one gives you the map. Here's the force that destroys more lottery winners and athletes than any investment or tax bill: the people around them. The moment word gets out, and it almost always gets out, everyone appears. Family members, old friends, distant cousins, childhood acquaintances. Each request feels small and reasonable relative to the total. A few thousand here, a business idea there, a relative in debt, a friend who just needs one good break. Research shows that winners who quit their jobs immediately are 50% more likely to go broke than those who keep working. Why? Because quitting the job is the public announcement that the money is real and unlimited. The requests multiply overnight. For NFL players, this pressure is documented extensively. The NBER study found that bankruptcy rates were identical regardless of how much a player earned, because social spending scaled directly with income. The more they made, the more was expected of them. Teammates engaged in what researchers described as conspicuous consumption competitions, one-upping each other on cars, jewelry, and lifestyle in an endless arms race that consumed money faster than it was made. A University of Alberta study published in the Review of Financial Studies found that a single lottery win in a neighborhood increases bankruptcy rates among the winner's closest neighbors, because visible new wealth triggers competitive spending in everyone around the winner too. The social ripple spreads outward. The MIT Sloan research found that winners' consumption rises by 200% in the period leading up to bankruptcy. It's not a slow drain, it's an acceleration, spending faster and faster until the wall arrives. Even without the external social pressure, there's a force working from the inside: lifestyle inflation. For regular earners, it creeps in slowly. A slightly nicer car, more restaurant dinners. Manageable. But for lottery winners and NFL players, lifestyle inflation doesn't creep. It detonates. 32% of lottery winners quit their jobs immediately after winning, removing their income entirely while simultaneously ramping up their spending to match their new perception of wealth. According to 2025 data, 63% of lottery winners who went insolvent did so within 6 years, primarily driven by lifestyle spending that far exceeded even their winnings. The math is ruthless. A $10 million win after taxes might net $5 to $6 million. That sounds like generational wealth. But if you're spending $500,000 a year, which is easy to do at the lifestyle level most winners jump to immediately, you're out of money in 10 to 12 years. And $1 million a year? Gone in 6. NFL players face a version of this that's even more brutal. The average career is 3.3 years. A player who earns $3 million over their career might spend like someone earning $3 million per year, because that's what their teammates and social circle look like. The career ends, the lifestyle doesn't. The savings don't exist, because they were never built. The difference between people who stay wealthy and people who don't isn't the size of the windfall. It's whether spending grew slower than the money. Lottery winners and athletes almost universally do the opposite. Spending grows faster. Sometimes immediately. The moment a large lottery win or a professional sports contract becomes public knowledge, the sharks arrive. 15% of lottery winners are targeted by fraudulent wealth managers within the first year of winning, according to 2025 data. And the problem isn't always outright fraud. Sometimes it's just spectacularly bad advice from unqualified people. Lottery winners frequently don't have the financial literacy to evaluate the people advising them. They can't tell the difference between a fee-based fiduciary, who is legally required to act in their client's interest, and a commission-based salesperson pushing high-fee products that benefit the advisor more than the client. NFL players face this in a particularly sharp way. Economist Jay Zagorski of the NBER found that bankruptcy rates for NFL players are identical regardless of career length or total earnings. Even long, highly paid careers provide no protection. Why? Because the bad decisions scale with the money. Players get pitched restaurant franchises, record labels, real estate developments, tech startups. Some of these are legitimate. Most aren't, and the players have no way to tell the difference. The same sport that trained them to trust coaches and teammates teaches them to trust whoever is in the room with authority and confidence. The Certified Financial Planner Board found that 65% of lottery winners who went broke had no professional financial advisor. They were either managing it alone or relying on unqualified people in their personal network. Here's the lesson. The arrival of money without financial knowledge doesn't create wealth. It creates a target. Not every lottery winner goes broke. Not every NFL player loses it all. And the ones who don't share an almost identical playbook, they stay anonymous. Winners who maintain privacy, claiming through a legal trust, not disclosing publicly, face dramatically less social pressure and fewer scam attempts. The University of Alberta research confirmed that public lottery wins trigger financial distress in surrounding communities. The ones who stay quiet sidestep this entirely. They don't touch the money immediately. Experienced financial advisors who work with sudden wealth consistently recommend a mandatory 6 to 12-month waiting period before making any major financial decision. No quitting the job. No buying the mansion. No wiring money to family. Time for the emotional wave to settle and rational thinking to return. They work with a fiduciary, not a salesperson. A fiduciary is legally bound to work in the client's interest. The Certified Financial Planner Board found that lottery winners who worked with legitimate advisors had dramatically better outcomes. The structure they build, taxes first, emergency fund, diversified investment portfolio, set annual spending limit, is the same for a $5 million winner as it is for a $50 million winner. They invest it, not spend it. The rare winners who build lasting wealth treat their windfall as a business, not a prize. Put the after-tax money into a diversified S&P 500 ETF and live off the returns. At 8% annual returns, a $5 million investment generates $400,000 per year in growth. You can live well on half that and reinvest the rest. The principal never shrinks. The wealth actually grows. Think of it this way. One former NFL player, Glover Quinn, spent 10 seasons in the league and lived on just 30% of his salary, investing the remaining 70%. By 2016, he had more than doubled his money. He is an exception. He doesn't need to be. The strategy is not complicated, but it requires the knowledge and the discipline to execute it when millions of dollars are sitting in your account and everyone around you is spending. Here's what ties all of this together. The lottery winner, the NFL rookie. They look like completely different stories. One gets lucky, one works incredibly hard, but they share the exact same financial fate, and for the exact same reasons. Money arrived faster than the knowledge to manage it. Americans spent $104.7 billion on lottery tickets in 2024. The NBER confirmed 16% of NFL players go bankrupt within 12 years of retirement, regardless of how much they earned. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau confirmed lottery winners are more likely to go bankrupt than people who never won. None of these are random. They're all the same pattern. Wealth without financial literacy moves money from one set of hands to another. Fast. The good news, and this is the whole point, is that financial literacy is learnable. The habits that protect wealth are buildable, and you don't need a lottery ticket or an NFL contract to apply them. Spend less than you earn. Automate your investments. Put your money into a low-cost S&P 500 ETF inside your TFSA and let compound interest do the work that most lottery winners and retired athletes wish they had let it do. Build the knowledge first. Build the habits first. If you do that, if you ever do come into a windfall, an inheritance, a big bonus, you won't be part of the statistic. You'll be the Glover Quinn of your own financial life. The money doesn't change people. It amplifies who they already are. Become the person first.